Hello there. So we all love Rec Room. Of course, everybody knows that. If you're here, then you most likely love playing Rec Room games. I love doing other things in Rec Room. I like checking out custom rooms. I love doing all sorts of things in Rec Room. But what is the best thing to do in Rec Room? Well, today we're gonna find out. Welcome to gaming's massive, super, ultra, mega, spectacularly amazing, absolutely bonkers Rec Room original game bracket thing. Yes, that is right, folks. Today we will be comparing every single thing that you can do in a Rec Room. And of course you can't see them from here, but I have a wall full of every single Rec Room original. The list includes every single thing you see when you click the Rec Room Original tab. And of course, one thing to mention is that there is 26 Rec Room Originals, technically, if you count the VR versions and 3D Charades Legacy in this, which I did. So that means that there would be 13 on each side, and when you divide it in two pairs each, you can't really do that. So to even things out, I have added the dorm room, hanging out in the dorm room, and custom rooms as a part of this list. So it's not really just a Rec Room original, it is everything you could do in Rec Room. So without further ado, let's get this list started! Our first matchup here is the Rec Center versus the Lounge. Alright, I'm going to give my quick opinion for each one of these and move on to the next. So, right away, I think that the Rec Center wins here. I don't really go to the Lounge at all, but I do go to the Rec Center quite often, and it does have a lot of relevancy because it has those pop-up stores and stuff. I usually go to hang out with my friends too. There's a lot to do in the Rec Center, so for this one, I say that the Rec Center moves on. Alright, for our second matchup, we have paddleball and soccer. So, I do not play paddleball at all. I'm gonna say right now, soccer is gonna win this matchup. I like soccer a lot. I don't play it that often, but if I had to choose between these two, I think that paddleball is more boring and more of luck-based. But soccer, while it is glitchy sometimes, I do love soccer. So yeah, soccer's gonna go ahead for me. Our next matchup here is Disc Golf Lake and Disc Golf Propulsion. So if I were to pick between these two for the weekly challenge, I would pick Disc Golf Lake. I think it's easier to do. I think it's shorter distance and you have the cart to help you. But if I were to play disc golf for leisure for whatever reason, I would definitely pick Propulsion because it is more exciting, it has more things to do. So for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and put Propulsion into the next round. Showdown and Rec Rally are the next two competitors, and oh boy, this round is tough. Not because I like these two, it's because I dislike them so much. But I do hate Rec Rally. If you've seen any of my streams or anything where I'm just talking about Rec Rally, I really don't like it. So we're gonna go ahead and move Showdown ahead just because I think Rec Rally is so much more boring, and I actually had fun playing Showdown for the first week or so that it was out, but it got boring too. But I really never had fun playing Rec Rally. Alright, our next matchup here is Stunt Runner and Bowling. I'm gonna go ahead with Stunt Runner. Even though I like bowling, I think that Stunt Runner is a much more enjoyable experience, and I like the parkour aspect of it. Bowling is a chill room. It's a good room, but I don't find myself going there often. I mean, I don't play either of these often, but I would probably pick to play Stunt Runner over bowling. So for this round, I might offend some 3D Charades players. I have no idea what the difference is. I really never played 3D Charades. I remember it looking like that, but I think I played it maybe once when it looked like that. I'm really not sure. I'm just gonna go with the new one just because it looks, I don't know, nicer. And this one's very plain. I never played 3D Charades, so I have no idea. Let me know what you would have picked in the comments if you played 3D Charades, but I would pick the newer one, I guess. Alright, and this last matchup on this side, Orientation versus Park. Now, Orientation is a well-made introduction to Rec Room, I think. Much more well-made than Park. Just because Park is so old. It is like one of the first. I don't even know. I think it's probably one of the first maps they made, but there are so many like flaws in it. It kind of looks weird if you go to it and you really pay attention to what you're looking at. It's weird. It doesn't look like Rec Room, but it is a fun place to hang out with friends, and there's not really much to do in orientation except for just go through the tutorial. So I don't know, right now I think I'm gonna pick Park. Alright, we are heading on over to the other side. At the top of the list we have Crescendo versus Laser Tagging. I don't even think I have to say anything, honestly. You probably know what I'm gonna pick. Crescendo all the way. Laser tag is horrible. I'm sorry people who play laser tag, it's not my thing. I don't like laser tag, so Crescendo's moving on. Now this is where it starts getting tough. Isle of the Lost Skulls versus Jumbotron. They are both great quests. Jumbotron is a classic. I used to grind for the armors. I wanted to play, as a Quest 1 user, I wanted to play Isle of the Lost Skulls for so long until I finally got my Quest 2. I was so excited to play it. And the mechanics are great. I love the weapons. Why does this keep going out? I love the weapons. I love the fact that they break and you have to scavenge for new ones. I think it's an overall better put together quest. So yeah, I think that I'm gonna go with Isle here. Now this matchup right here, Crimson versus Golden, is also a very hard matchup to choose from. Crimson, however, is my favorite quest, so I am going to go ahead and put Crimson through. But it is very difficult to choose between the two because I would say that Golden Trophy is probably my next favorite quest. Golden Trophy is classic. It is my first experience in Rec Room. I used to grind, of course, for the armor here too. It was Golden and Jumbo I used to do when I first joined Rec Room. It was my life for like a year before I got into Dodgeball, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put Crimson above it though, because I just love, it's a more difficult and complex version of Golden Trophy, and I love the mechanics and the new weapons and the overall aesthetic. It is very vibey, so I do like it more, so I'm gonna put Crimson ahead. So this one is between squads or solos in Rec Royale. So the top one is squads and the bottom one is solos. So I don't think this one matters that much, there's not much of a difference, but I would much rather team up with my friends and play squads, so that's gonna move ahead. So these two are Paintball and Paintball VR. Not much of a difference except for you only can teleport in the VR version, so I'm just gonna go for the regular paintball here. Not much to say. Same with Dodgeball, I'm gonna put just the regular one ahead because I had to include the VR version. I don't even know which one is which, I forgot, but yeah, I'm just gonna move the regular one ahead. And here is the last matchup of the whole bracket, the first round of the whole bracket. Dorm room or custom rooms? Here's the thing, if I were hanging out with friends in the dorm room, I think, sure, maybe it would stand a chance, but the thing is, with a custom room, you could be by yourself, and it could still be fun, and you could play with friends. So, for that reason, I'm going to put custom room ahead. Also, custom rooms could be awesome, and with the introduction of Rec Room Studio, we're seeing a lot of cool creations in custom rooms. As you can see, the bracket behind me has been updated, and in the next round, we will choose the final 7 things you could do in Rec Room, so let's get going. First off, to match up, we have soccer and disc golf propulsion. As I said before, I do not play disc golf at all, but I do occasionally play soccer, and I enjoy soccer a lot. I do not enjoy disc golf. Therefore, that is my reasoning to put soccer onto the next round. Once again, I do not play either of these Rec Room originals. However, if I were to pick one, I would probably go with Stunt Runner over Showdown. Just because I'm not a huge PvP person, and I get bored of Showdown pretty easily. So Stunt Runner is moving ahead. Third, here we have 3D Charades and Park. As I mentioned before, I do like hanging out with my friends in just a random place, just hanging out and talking and stuff. That is quite fun. However, as I said with the custom room versus dorm thing, I would rather be doing something. Therefore, I would probably go with 3D Charades here. Even though it's most likely not going to happen that we all, somehow end up in 3D Charades and just hanging out, I think it's more fun than doing nothing. Next matchup, we have the custom rooms or dodgeball. If you know anything about me, you know dodgeball all the way. Dodgeball all the way, that's all I'm going to say. Next up, I don't know if you can see, they're quite far apart. Rec Royale versus Paintball. Now this one is a big one for a lot of people because a lot of people love both of these Rec Room originals. However, I don't. So the decision is pretty easy. I hate Paintball. I'm gonna go with Rec Royale squads on this one. So our next quest matchup, we have Isle and Crescendo. That's not Crescendo. So in our next quest matchup, we have Isle versus Crimson. And as I stated before, Crimson is my favorite quest, so I do not think anything's gonna beat it. I'm gonna go ahead and put Crimson on to the next round. So because of the nature of this uneven board bracket thing, I had to put Crescendo, which is all the way over here, against the Rec Center. While I do love the Rec Center, there's so much stuff to do. You can hang out with friends, there's like stores and decorations always popping up and stuff. It's awesome, but I don't think you can compare it to one of the best quests, Crescendo. I don't think the Rec Center can hold up to that, so I'm gonna go ahead and put Crescendo onto the next round. And there you have it. Behind me you can see the monstrosity of the super ultra mega whatever board thing. We have our top 7 things to do in Rec Room behind us, and unfortunately we're gonna have to start eliminating some of them. So for this next round, we're gonna have to eliminate 3 of these Rec Room originals up here so that we could get the top 4. So the first one I'm going to eliminate, I apologize for all of you 3D Charades players, but this one's gonna have to go. It's a little bit boring to me, I don't play it often, but yeah, I'm gonna have to take that off the board. The next one to go, unfortunately, is Stunt Runner. This game came out when I was a newbie in Rec Room, and it holds a lot of value for me, a lot of nostalgia, but unfortunately, I just don't play it often, so it's gonna have to go. And for my last elimination, I want to play a game. Make your predictions down below. Which one do you think I'm going to eliminate next? And my last one is Crescendo. I do love this quest a lot. It is a great quest, but unfortunately it does not make it into my top 4. Simply because we already have another quest. There's only 5 of them, so I think it is only fair to keep Crimson in, as it is my favorite quest to represent the quests. Crescendo had a good run, but unfortunately, this is the end of the road. Here we are. We made it to the top 4. These are my top 4 things to do in a Rec Room. They are all Rec Room originals, as you can see. We have Crimson Cauldron, Rec Royale, Dodgeball, and Soccer. So we have 2 sports, 1 PvP, and a quest. Which one will come out on top? Let's see. I think this is only fair to do it in 2 matchups. So this side of the board will be matching up, and this side of the board will be matching up. So let's see who is going to be the top 2. First up is Soccer and Dodgeball. This is a tough one. It is hard to say goodbye to Soccer. I love Soccer. It is a great RRO. It is severely underrated. It is actually very fun once you start playing. However, I can't get rid of Dodgeball, so Dodgeball is going on to the top 2. And the Rec Room original that will be joining Dodgeball in the top 2, going against it, will be Rec Royale. Of course, Crimson is my favorite quest. However, Rec Royale is so dynamic. It is a very awesome game. Just so fun to play, and so much fun to play with friends too. Quests are quests. They're the same thing every time. But even though I don't like PvP, I do like Rec Royale. The whole Battle Royale situation, it's pretty exciting. Looking out for people and collecting loot and all of that stuff. Plus the glider thing, it's all like, I don't know. It's feels refreshing. It doesn't really feel like a Rec Room when you go in there. It feels like a completely different game. So for all of that and more, Crimson, I'm gonna have to say goodbye. And so here we have it, folks. The top 2 Rec Room originals. These 2 came out on top. They beat every single other thing you could do in Rec Room. It is all led up to this moment. Which one will take the W? Let's see with my brain. A lot of you probably could have guessed this from the start. Rec Royale is such a great game. However, Dodgeball is my game, and of course, it has to take the win in this bracket. I spent over a week in Dodgeball last year, if you add up all the hours that I spent in it. That is an insane amount of time. I can't even comprehend how long I've spent in Dodgeball. I have over 4,200 wins. I play just all the time. I don't even know. Like, sometimes I don't want to play, but then I just play anyway. I just go in there just to, like, do tricks and stuff. I mean, I make videos on it all the time. It's my game. It's just the game that I love the most in Rec Room. I spend the most time in it. And yeah, Dodgeball. It is gonna have to be the winner for this bracket. So even though the ending was a bit predictable, it was still kind of fun to go through each Rec Room original or thing to do in Rec Room and see which one I liked better than the other. It was kind of like a would you rather thing or whatever. But if you liked this style of video, make sure to hit the like button to let me know that you liked it. And subscribe if you want to see future videos. Definitely keep those notifications on. I don't post super often, but when I do, you will see the notifications in your little bell thing. So, with all that said, and with all of this done, that is the end of the video. So, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.